well, actually, that's not true. I've published a lot of things, but it was my first book about my life. I saw your post. It's kind of weird having your life in book form for everybody to see. And so that
Yes.
was very brave of you. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. I just hope that I'm getting a lot of feedback already, and it's people are really they're resonating with it, and it's helping them, and so that's really what I wanted. So it's really good to hear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, for sure. All right. Well, good. Let me pull up. I didn't have your stuff quite pulled up, but what I want y'all to know about Christine is, let me pull it all up because I had some stuff ready to say, but I don't remember all of them. So what I wanted just to make sure everybody knows is on the digital download that she's giving away her SAFE framework, which she's going to be talking about, but also she's going to give away 5 copies of her book. So do you want to do that in the community, or how do you just want people to message you in the community and say, hey, I'd like a copy of your book, and the first 5 get it? Or how
Yeah,
would you like to do
if
that?
that's the way you think it's easiest to do that, yeah. And I
Okay.
think if you can give them my email address or
Yes,
however
it's
you
on
want
the,
to do that, yeah, then they'll
okay.
just email me and I can send them the safe
Yep, the
framework.
email. Yep, the email is on the digital download. So
Oh,
that's what we
perfect.
got.
Okay.
Yeah, well, very good. All right, well, take it away, what you got to share, and I am ready to hear what you got, and I know the ladies are too.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing this. This is such a great for you holding space for this, and boundaries is something that I have always had trouble with. So I just wanted to start with a personal question to everybody. Have you ever put a wall up between yourself and somebody that you cared about, not because you were trying to protect yourself, but because you didn't want to feel the feelings that come up when you're around that certain person? So I found myself doing that for a lot of years, and I confused walls with boundaries. I thought that shutting people out was the only way that I could feel safe. And sometimes what we have to think about is that boundaries are not always about saying no. It's about really taking a deeper look at what you're saying yes to, because I was the ultimate yes girl. I was yes to my husband, yes to my kids, yes to my job, yes to my dogs, even, all the friends. And I was not saying yes to guess who? Myself. So that came from a deeper wound from childhood because I had a father that was verbally abusive. Nothing I ever did was good enough. I felt like I always had to be quiet and stay hidden, but I also felt like I was protecting, my mom, my sisters. I was the middle child, so was like that go between, kind of the glue holding the family together. And so, the only way that I felt safe was to make sure that everybody else was okay. And a lot of the times I never knew what dad I was getting when he came home. And what I realized is that I was trying to keep everybody else afloat, but if you're trying to keep everybody else afloat and you're sinking, that's not love. That's surviving. And that's what I did for a lot of years. And so I developed this safe framework because of all those things that I had been through. So we'll run through what each letter stands for real quick. Self is for self care. That is where I started my journey, really and truly. It's not about massages and manis and petties, even though I do that for myself because it makes me feel pretty. Um, but this is just really about looking at like your moment to moment and pausing if you're overwhelmed and if you feel like you're hiding, because sometimes the walls that you've built are blocking the love that you deserve. And so you really need to look at why you put those walls up in the first place. And when I first decided that I needed to take better care of myself so I could take care of my family, I went a little overboard like I do in most things. So I'm not saying like just go all in on you and don't take care of everybody else. You got to start with small things. So, you know, having coffee by yourself, journaling for 2 minutes when nobody else is busy, taking a walk after dinner by yourself, just those little bitty things, just a little bitty shift, saying yes to yourself. And a little prompt if you are a journaler. would be, what is your boundary really rooted in? Is it rooted in healing or is it rooted in fear? So the A stands for attitude. This is because how you think about boundaries or anything in your life is how you're going to use them. So I isolated myself because if I wasn't around people, then that meant I didn't have to say no to them. I didn't have to disappoint them. So I would just avoid them. So that was easier, right? But avoidance is not a boundary, ladies. That's a fear response. So we just need to take a deeper look at why we're doing some of the things that we're doing. And true boundaries come from self-love and not self-protection. So a more healed attitude might be, I trust myself to love wisely, not perfectly, but my heart is open. So when your heart is open, we're going to talk about the F word here at the B word summit. That is feelings. We don't like to feel those, do we? No, we don't. So, I my new book, which some of you are going to be able to get, is called Eat Your Feelings. Because that's what I was doing for the majority of my life. I was stuffing those down instead of processing what I was really going through. So I thought that if I was busy, if I was distracted, then I have to think about the quiet. First of all, I didn't want to sit with myself. I hated to be quiet, but I didn't have to think about the anger, the depression, the anxiety that I was feeling. And so those things didn't go away because I ignored them. They just manifested into physical and mental problems and disconnection in my spirituality, which is a whole nother summit. We won't talk about that right now. But I just think I challenge you to really sit with some of your feelings. I think you'll be surprised. I think you're going to find some self-compassion. You're going to find grace. You might even find that you are proud of yourself, which maybe you've never felt before. So just remember that you are a loving mother, a great wife, a cherished friend, all of those things. And it's okay to cry. I didn't cry for a very long time. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be confused. Just don't unpack your junk and live there in anxiety land. You know what I mean? You gotta move through it. So we're not moving in there. We're just staying there for a little while, renting some space. Because the E in safe is for energy. So the energy that we put out into the world is the energy that we attract. And that's why I love these types of communities, Sam, because we're sort of kindred spirits. You know what I mean? All the women that you attract into your community are they're like-hearted and they're like-minded and they want to help other women. And so we really need to think about, if we want to attract that good energy, you've got to put that same good energy out into the world. And so I think what I really want everybody to take home, because I have been through a lot in my life, and if I can live through bearing three children, raising a child with special needs, walking through infidelity in my marriage, and facing cancer and surviving that, then whatever it is that you may be walking through, you can do it. You can find joy on the other side. You can feel safe again. And I think what I started with was looking at the walls that I put up and then just making them a little more transparent. If you can, I'm not saying to tear down the walls all right away, but if you can make them more like a window, let a little light in, look at the people on the outside, let them see a little bit of you, then you can learn how to build those healthy boundaries, which is what we want to do. So you can feel safe again. And safety is freedom. That's how I look at it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. Well, I don't know. I think was it Karen just a minute ago, she was talking about how she was reading the report from Dr. Brody and it felt like he was stalking her whole life. I think you were stalking me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I literally didn't learn to feel until I was 44 years old. And now I look at my life and I wonder, how is that even possible? The way I feel, the way I connect, the way I am, how, like, I wasn't even the same person. And so it's just really interesting now, I feel. And when I first started, it was so powerful. Like the feelings, good or bad, would physically hurt and my
Yeah.
body would hurt.
Yeah.
And it's gotten better over time. But like the not crying, I didn't mind. And I have a really good relationship with my dad now. When I was a kid, I didn't. And I think that's true of a lot of us.
Yeah.
But he would say, don't cry. It's not going to fix anything.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
going to fix anything. And I've learned that there's so much power in tears and letting them fall. You don't have to catch them, you don't have to manage them. You can let them fall, and there's healing in that process.
Yes.
So I'm curious. The
Mhm.
safe. First of all, I love the F word. That might be the title of the next summit. It might. It really might. Um, but I'm curious about the SAFE framework. How did that happen? How did you come up with it, or just tell us a little bit about
So
that?
there's from my book. So there's four frameworks in the book, but these were when I started writing the book, I started feeling all kinds of things that I had been like really pushing down. It was very cathartic. It was very healing. I'm sure that you have felt the same way about yours. Um, but I love acronyms. Like I'm kind of a nerd. And I like things that are functional. So I'm a pediatric occupational therapist by trade. So us OTs like functionality. And I just like an acronym that, so it gives me an easy way to remember it. You know what I mean? And so when I think that the word safe is something that I didn't know how to feel. And that's why I explored it more. One of my other acronyms is EAT, and that's obviously because that's something that I was dealing with. So I think I really took the really hard things in my life and took a deeper look at them. And so that's why I created the acronyms around the words that were most hurtful so that I could make them, um, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but
Just make
normalize
sense.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. And so you have gone through a lot. One of Suzanne said, wow, you're a thriver when you listed off all the things that have happened to you. And unfortunately, ladies, like I know so many of us have gone through very similar but different things. None of us are going to get out of life unscathed. It's not if, it's when something's going to happen, right? And so that's why it's really important to have good people around you that can lift you up, that can support you, that can be there. And if any of you don't know my hand story, I'll tell that another time. I'll put it in the community so you understand. But the power of the hands and the people that are there to help you in life are critical. And so, Christina, I'm curious though, also, now you said like where you were, you wrote the book, and then you started feeling all these feelings. How have you implemented the SAFE framework into your own life?
So I think I really use it every day. I mean, you know what I mean? Because you can put it into any situation. Um, I really do put self-care at the forefront of my life now because it's just the truth. Like I can take care of my family so much better when I take care of myself. And sometimes you got to shift your attitude. Like like you know what I mean? Like it's just the way that you're looking at it. Um and I always want to feel my feelings because I didn't for a long time, and that didn't work out real well for me. Because, I had ended up with all kinds of chronic pain and gut issues. And I mean, all that stuff comes out if you keep stuffing it down. And
Mhm.
I've found out through all of this, being in masterminds and community and just higher achieving women that I'm an empath. And so I think that was a big problem too. I was taking on everybody else's energy all the time. And then I didn't know how to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was just like this sponge of negative energy because that's what I lived in for so many
Yeah.
years. And I didn't
Yeah.
know
I
any
relate it
different.
to the Jack in the Box when we were a kid, the little Jack in the Box,
Yeah.
you wind
Yeah.
it up and then all of a sudden it'd pop out and scare the crap out of you. That's what's going to happen. If you try and stuff down those
Yes.
emotions and those feelings, you have to feel them. You have to. If you want to get from here to there, you have to. And I
Yes.
know it's not fun and I know it's hard, but we've all done hard things. But it's what the hard things we've done didn't give us the life that we were meant to have. I can promise you, if you do the right hard things, you're going to get everything you ever wanted.
Yeah. The shift, and like I said, the shift in the energy when I allow myself to feel the feelings is just, I mean, it's changed everything. My mental awareness, my self-awareness, my body awareness, how I look at myself. I didn't look myself in the eye in the mirror for
Oh,
years.
yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. It's so powerful just to
Yeah,
be able to look and to say, even if you can't say I love you or I love me yet,
right.
like I'm doing the best I can today, or
Yes.
make one nice thing. Just even just looking at yourself and smiling, right?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy that that's hard
Yeah,
for us to do? Like, but
yeah,
how can you know what somebody else needs if you don't have any idea what you need? You can't. You can't be a friend, you can't be a
yeah.
wife, you can't be a sister,
You
I
can't,
mean,
no. The really interesting thing for me doing what I do and working with so many women, I am so aware of everything you're talking about and we're all talking about. Like we are preaching to the choir of taking care of ourselves, right? And yet, whenever I pull women, business owners, high achieving women, business owners, and I ask them, say, hey, I'm creating an offer to help you grow your business and create a life you love at the same time. Here's four things that'll grow your business, and here's four things that'll help you improve your own life. What are the top things you want? None of them say the things to grow their own life and take care of them. They all say the things to grow their business.
yeah,
And it's
that's
just,
that
it
avoidance.
blows my mind. And I say, if you only truly understood that if you want to grow a better, stronger business that's going to have the impact you want it to have, you have to start with you.
Yeah,
You just have to.
yeah.
And it's very interesting how we flip flop. We say it, but we still don't do it. And I'm guilty of that myself sometimes.
Well, I think because as women, we were taught, especially our age group, that we're nurturing and we're caring and we're supposed to make sure that everybody else is okay and we're supposed, you know what I mean? Like, which and then but you get lost in there. I mean, that nobody
Yeah.
ever told me that I needed to take care of myself.
No, yeah,
They
it's
told me,
harder.
yeah, take care of your little sister or go help your older sister or help your mom or help your, like who's helping me? What is
Yeah, yeah, we're not taught to take care to do that for ourselves.
Yeah,
That's for sure. I think that sometimes when women hear the idea of self-love or self-care or self-growth, any of the things like that, they think, "Oh my gosh, I got
selfish.
something else." Well, not well, they think that, but they also think now I got something else to do. Like, really?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Right? And so if somebody's listening and they're thinking, okay, boundaries, I know that I need to do some boundaries. I need to do some work around some of this stuff. You don't have to do all the things up front.
Right.
Do one thing. Just do one thing. And so
One
what
thing.
one do you have a suggestion of somebody's just on the front end of this and they're trying to figure it out and one thing that they might be able to do to go on this path?
The thing that I truly started with was looking myself in the eye in the mirror. I didn't even say anything at first. I just tried to hold a gaze. And when I first started trying to do it, I couldn't even hold a gaze with myself for 2 seconds. It was so awkward.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's really where I started. And then I moved to longer and longer and then started to really like look at my body. You know what I mean? I was avoiding looking at all the parts of my body that I didn't like. And then I started to talk to myself in the mirror. But that took a long time. I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking like over the span of probably a year.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't happen quickly. So I've been on this journey now for 10 years, and I wish I could remember the moment that I went from self-hate to self-love, but I don't. Because it was just a process, right? You
It's
go through and you're
gradual.
doing all the things, And then I just woke up one day and I'm like, huh, this is all right.
Yeah,
That didn't mean there wasn't still, yeah, there's
like I'm
still
a
work
pretty
to
cool
be
chick.
done. Yeah, like I like me. I like hanging out with me. You're
Right.
talking about you didn't want the silence, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I could not be with just me. And
Mm-mm.
the first time, when I went on this my healing journey, I just decided to start taking writing retreats. About once a quarter, I would go all by myself just to have time with God and me. And the very first time I did it, it was the weekend the week of Thanksgiving of 2015. There was no internet, no Wi-Fi, no anything. Like I was legit by myself, and I thought I was going to die
Yeah.
because I had 3 songs saved on my computer. I had to listen to them like nothing, no radio, nothing. And now I go and I'm like, I wonder if they're going to have Wi-Fi. I kind of hope they don't.
Yeah.
And right, because now I crave that alone time.
Well, I find myself now like talking to myself, but like I'm talking to a friend, like we're talking right
Yeah,
now. And it used to be all that negative self-talk, like you
yeah,
can't do this and you're not, who are you? And you're
yeah,
never gonna finish and you quit everything and blah blah blah, and like I wouldn't talk to a friend like that. Why am I talking to myself like that? But
yeah. That's
that's
so
how I
true.
was, that's how I was talked to as a kid. And so that's what I
I
learned.
I call, yeah, my brain does not play nice sometimes. And so literally when that stuff happens, I'll touch my head. I don't know if you can see my fingers are literally touching the side of my head, my temple, and I say, nope, not true. And then I replace it with the truth. Nope, not true.
Yeah.
Nope, not true.
I think
Because
that's really
if you
where
don't replace it with the truth, it's just going to continue.
where my book cover came from, because it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of like now I'm sort of like blow them out. You know what I mean? Like kind of like you hold your nose
Mhm.
and get
Yeah.
those out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, Christina, I am so thankful for you. Ladies, make sure you click through to get her framework and then send her a DM in school saying, I want a free copy of your book, and she'll get you the information. And
Yes.
I'm just honored to know you, and I'm so excited that you said
Likewise.
yes to sharing your energy and your heart, especially during this busy time with the book launch. So,
It's his timing is perfect.
amen. I agree.